Look at this crazy dude. That's a Canadian, but he's not a salty Canadian. That's me. Hi, I'm Edwin. I'm going to be teaching you Pebble development.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Got a little lost. I typed cell layer instead of cell index. Another moment, you might have been yelling at me from across the countries or across the cities, wherever you are. But now that should be good if we run this build. Easy. We got a successful build in our hands now. So we're all good there. And in theory, if we run this, we should get our cities listed onto our watch. Wow, so we're actually gonna go and take a chance on me. We're gonna click install and run onto my phone. We're gonna pray that this works. Okay guys, so we got it installed in our watch now. I'm gonna go and just test Toronto. Yes, we have one error just before I put myself on camera. So what we didn't do is reload the actual menu layer, itself. We have to reload the menu layer every time we change the amount of items because it doesn't redraw itself constantly. That'd be very energy inefficient. So here below our cities, I knew we were missing a line, but I'm just slipping tonight. Menu layer reload data is what we're going to call on the main menu layer. Okay, and we're going to run that. I think it's going to run on the phone, yep. Hashtag pray for Edwin, guys. Tweet it. Post it in the comments. Gotta pray for me that I'll not slip so hard on the next tutorial. Okay. Now we're all good. Loaded up on the watch. Let me see here. Look like add city. Toronto. Okay, yes. The Toronto city was added. And let's test one more. New York. Okay, we have one more thing to do before I show you our awesome map. Also below this delete thing, we're going to do menu layer reload data. And we're going to pass in main menu layer. And we're going to switch cameras. I guess we can't. Okay, so I think I should be able to angle this here so you can see this. So here's our app. We have our weather splash screen. We're going to go back in all the way down to our weather app. And we're going to click add city. Toronto. Click enter. There you go, there it is. We're gonna go Calgary. Shout out to my old friend Gene who cut the wires and disappeared into Calgary. Now we're gonna delete Toronto successfully. And now we're down to just Calgary. Awesome. So guys, we have one more thing that we need to do with this. When you actually close the app now, it loses the cities. Oh no! So we're going to save the cities. We're going to create two functions, a save function and a load function. So let's type these now. Main window save cities and void main window load cities. We're actually going to have these as integer return types. And we're going to expose them before we write any code straight away in our main window.h so I do not forget. And while we're on this roll, we might as well go over to our main window.c, or our main.c, my bad. And we're gonna do this save function at the end, and we're gonna do a load function before we do anything else. Okay. So what this will do is when you load up the app, it loads the cities first of all into, into the app from memory, from storage, and then it runs your app, and then at the end it saves them into storage for long-term persistent use. I'm gonna go back into our main window.c. We're gonna create an integer called value, set it equal to 0. We're gonna create a for loop that's gonna run for all the cities, so max amount of cities, constant. And we're gonna do this function called persist write data, and our first value will be I, because that is going to be the location in memory. So you can have a key. This for first parameter is the key for the persist write data and persist read data functions at least. And what it does for you is put that storage at that key at that location. Simple identifier. Then we're going to pass in our cities. So cities, and then the index of I, and then we want the size of the city structure. And we're going to actually add on this to the value. So value plus equals this, because this returns the amount of bytes written to storage. Then after this, we're going to type return value. We're going to copy all of this. We're going to paste it here into our load cities. We're going to just change this right into read. So what have we done here? Okay, so we've created two functions, main window save cities and main window load cities. And what it does is does a for loop for each of the cities available, and it saves them all into storage, whether or not they exist. And it adds on the amount of bytes that were written to that location in storage each into this variable called value, and returns that value so you can log it, see what's going on. You could even log these individual lines if you wanted to break that up. You could try to make it interesting. So what this persist write data function does is writes this cities pointer, which we've made a pointer via this and sign, to this key, which will start at 0 and go to 4 because we have 5 cities, but if you've increased that or decreased that, it'll be different depending on your context. And it provides the size of a city structure, and that's the size in storage. This size of is the size in storage that you're going to be storing, so you got to make sure that it's equal to or greater than, but I recommend you just do equal to. And the read data does the exact opposite, except it has the same format. So it does the key first, and then you put in your your city pointer, or your data that you want to write to storage, then the size of again, and it will read the data into this structure, into this pointer, so you don't have to do any more work. So if we run this, I know for a fact it works. We're just going to click run to see that we don't have any syntax errors or anything. But I have tested this particular code out before, and I can promise you that it should do what I'm telling you it should. Yep, so we're all good. It's just installing. And if you actually load up a city and use the voice API to input one, and then close your app completely, and then open it again, it will reload, and you will still see that city just like you never left the app. Toronto. I'm going to close the app, go back in. Yep, it's still there. Okay, sweet. And if you delete one and close the app, it'll go away. Perfect. So that's it for today's tutorial, guys. It was a very long one in a couple of parts, I guess. I'm going to have to cut it up now. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I guess that is life, right? So, as I always say, play around with it, get used to what's going on here, try to look over the code, and hope to see you in the next tutorial. Alright, bye-bye!